Hello everyone, and welcome to my Bold and Beautiful Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Carter's marriage proposal is ruined by Daphne's sabotage? Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful. Does Carter's marriage proposal get ruined by Daphne's sabotage? According to teasers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne Rose is committed to assisting Steffy Forrester Finnegan in achieving her objective. Could an unexpected marriage proposal to Hope Logan derail Daphne's attempt to woo Carter Walton? Will Daphne ultimately undermine the plan to prevent Carter and Hope from moving forward? Let's discuss what might happen next in this plot while you continue reading. Spoilers for Steffy Forrester Finnegan's mission on The Bold and the Beautiful. According to B&B teasers, the Forrester family was shocked when Carter took over their business. Steffy couldn't wait for the legal situation to be resolved. Steffy made the decision to act and enlisted her friend Daphne from Paris. Daphne's goal is to keep Carter and Hope apart. Steffy believes that Carter carried out the coup in the first place because of Hope. I didn't see that, but I'll move on. Steffy seemed to believe that the LLC will be magically reversed if she can get Carter away from Hope. B&B spoilers, the victory of Daphne Rose. Daphne had to enter Forrester Creations as the first stage. In the end, Daphne suggested a perfume called Forrester Original. Additionally, Daphne threatened to fire Fanny Grayson if she didn't back off. Unexpectedly, Fanny backed off without taking offense and appeared to revere Daphne. It appears that Daphne is gaining the trust of Hope and Carter. Hope boasts to Steffy that a contract with Paris' most famous nose is closer to being finalized by Forrester Creations. It will be a victory once they have an agreement. Daphne's mission is far from finished, though. Spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Carter Walton is enticed. According to previews on The Bold and the Beautiful, Daphne will probably recommend celebrating with Carter after signing the paperwork. Daphne will want to confirm that Hope is occupied with anything else. In a preview clip, Daphne appears to attempt to woo Carter, but that doesn't imply he will succumb. Men, according to Daphne and Steffy, lack self-control and will attack everything that moves. As a result, Carter may truly reject Daphne or remind her of his relationship with Hope. B&B spoilers, did the proposal end? Carter attributes his current success to Hope's assistance. Carter probably wants to close the transaction with Hope as quickly as possible. Carter typically moves too quickly in romances, and this one is most likely no different. Would Carter be able to arrange a marriage proposal? Will Carter's proposal to Hope be discovered and somehow thwarted by Daphne? Daphne's enchanting charm on Carter. According to the spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful, Poppy Nozawa treated Jack Finnegan's arm wound after Lee Finnegan had stabbed him so severely to obtain a blood sample. Since Jack and Poppy insisted that they had never shared a bed, Jack could not possibly be the father of Luna Nozawa. But Lee believed the paternity results, which were prepared when a nearby timer sounded, would provide the evidence. Lee promised that the truth would be revealed whether Poppy and Jack liked it or not. She picked up the stick containing the paternity findings and examined it after Lee stated that they would determine whether Jack was Luna's father. He yelled at security on the phone at Bill Spencer's estate, telling them that everyone, including his family, would be stopped at the gate. Bill told Luna that he would address that issue later, even though he knew it would raise more concerns. Bill reaffirmed that no one could know she was there since they wouldn't understand, which Luna detested because it made him feel like he was confined in his own house. Luna wondered if she would have been different if she had been reared by someone else after she and Bill bonded over their challenging pasts. Luna pondered the source of the motivation she experienced upon arriving in Los Angeles to work at Forrester. Steffy Forrester was pleased when Daphne Rose arrived at the Cliff home sporting a new fragrance for Forrester. Steffy proposed that Daphne may assist her family in regaining control after the Forrester fragrance transaction was finalized. Once more, Steffy pretended that Hope Logan's influence was the issue, but she was convinced that Daphne could cure Carter Walton. Steffy didn't think Carter and Hope's romance had a chance because Daphne was using her own magic. Steffy insisted that all of this would help Daphne as well, and she was eager to take back control after Hope was able to release Carter. On Thursday's B&B episode, Hope encouraged Carter to make a big impression on Daphne at their next encounter at Forrester Creations. Carter and Hope were having a private moment when they smelled Daphne coming in. Hope gave the new Forrester fragrance high marks and alluded to the fact that it could make you feel enchanted. Daphne became more flirtatious with Carter when Hope left so they could discuss business. As she came closer and tucked her scarf into his jacket pocket, Daphne asked Carter if he was searching anything extraordinary, because he had mentioned how amazing her work was. Since Steffi didn't yet have her own office, she prepared to unload her belongings at the design office. Steffi pretended to be surprised and pretended that this was great news once Hope showed there and began to make predictions about the upcoming Daphne deal. Stay tuned for more on Steffi's remaining plans, as spoilers for The Bold and the Beautiful indicate that she will continue to operate behind the scenes. Daphne and Carter score. Discloses that Steffi Forrester concurred with Hope Logan that Daphne Rose's appearance and desire to work together were quite fortuitous. Steffi was certain that Daphne was as thrilled about this as Carter Walton was, and she implied that it might be a game changer. Daphne promised Carter that he would receive wonderful since she had assurance that that was what he was seeking. Carter was thrilled when Daphne signed the contract after invading his personal space and flirting a little more. When Carter was by himself, he appeared serious while holding the scarf Daphne had given him. Carter left Hope tickled pink after informing her that Daphne was now officially on board when she showed up for updates. After returning to Steffi, she met with Daphne in secret and expressed her satisfaction with the contract agreement. Steffi anticipated eventually tearing the company away from Hope and Carter, assuming they were off celebrating. Luna Nozawa acknowledged at Bill Spencer's estate that she didn't resemble Tom Starr in appearance or any other way. Bill believed this conversation was useless, but it made her question if Poppy Nozawa had used Tom to hide the truth. Bill saw Luna's obsession with the possibility that her biological father might be someone else as wishful thinking. Following her admission of shame for pursuing Tom, Luna implied that if he hadn't been her father, her actions would have been even worse. Luna always felt that Tom was the paternity answer, and she wanted she could force Poppy to tell the truth. When the paternity test at the hospital revealed that Luna wasn't Jack Finnegan's kid, Lee Finnegan was shocked. Since Lee had suspected an affair for years and had always harbored resentment for Poppy, it brought her to a regretful revelation. She implied that Lee could have supported Luna and stopped her crimes if she hadn't harbored such hatred. Lee apologized for her previous harsh treatment of Poppy and for acting like a crazy person over this paternity test. The sisters exchanged a tearful embrace after Lee promised to change and beg Poppy's pardon. Jack sobbed nearby as well, seeing Poppy and Lee's tender hug. Our B&B predictions indicate that Lee's new and better perspective on Poppy won't last long, so keep checking back for all the exciting news that lies ahead. According to previews for The Bold and the Beautiful, in the upcoming episodes, the mystery surrounding Luna's paternity will be revealed and additional family problems will arise. Jack and Poppy's cleared, Daphne's deal, and Luna's intuition. Jack and Poppy's cleared, Daphne's deal, and Luna's intuition is at last here. Lee Finnegan examines the results of the DNA test in today's episode. Luna Nozawa has a gut feeling that Tom Starr is not her father. An agreement between Daphne Rose and Forrester Creations is also made. Jack Finnegan's paternity test recap from The Bold and the Beautiful. According to the B&B recap, Lee is certain that the DNA test will demonstrate that Jack Finnegan and Penelope Poppy Nozawa co-created Luna at the hospital. Jack maintains his denial while Poppy supports him. Poppy and Jack are eager to see the test results. Lee is stunned into silence as she looks at the blood test results. Lee is pushed to confess by Jack and Poppy, but the test comes out negative. Review of B&B, Poppy Nozawa is cleared. Lee has always been informed by Jack that he never had sex with Poppy. Jack asks why Lee always thinks the worst. Poppy merely gives a headshake. Poppy questions how Lee could possibly have such a thought about her. Lee breaks down in tears and becomes insane. Lee acknowledges that Poppy and Jack weren't deserving of the harsh treatment. Lee acknowledges she was overcome with rage. According to Lee, she always convinced herself that Poppy's carefree way of living would result in anything like this. Lee is aware that she has mistreated Poppy for years, not just today. Lee acknowledges her error and wishes to make amends with Poppy. Lee asks Poppy to forgive him, and the sisters give each other a hug. Poppy breaks down in tears. A recap of Luna Nozawa's intuition in The Bold and the Beautiful. According to The Bold and the Beautiful recap, Luna is unable to see any Tom star in her face while she is at Bill Spencer's house. Luna believes that Poppy concealed her real father's identity by using Tom. Bill believes it is ineffective to attack Poppy. It is still clear to Luna that Tom is not her father. Bill hasn't moved on from his own history. Luna is reminded by Bill that Tom was not at all like his own dad. Tom wasn't a nasty person. Who else could be her father, Luna wonders. Luna believes it would make a huge difference. According to Luna, she and Tom had nothing in common. Luna feels horrible about killing him, though. Bill argues that Luna may change her life because she simply made a mistake. Luna remains obsessed with establishing that Tom was not her father. Review of B&B for Friday, January 24, 2025. Steffi Forrester Finnegan and Hope Logan discuss Daphne at Forrester Creations. Hope is overwhelmed by Daphne's charm and mystery. Hope is interested in getting to know Daphne. Steffi believes Carter Walton might also be interested in getting to know Daphne better. Daphne is a gift that will continue to provide in unexpected ways, according to Steffi. Steffi and Hope discuss Daphne's possessions. Daphne is difficult to read, Hope acknowledges. Hope cautions that Daphne might be acting selfishly. Daphne is accustomed to delivering commands rather than receiving them. According to Steffi, it would be huge for Forrester Creations to land Daphne. It might completely transform the business. Hope is cautioned by Steffi that she will have to work long hours with Carter if Daphne is signed. Daphne flirts with Carter while they are alone in an office. If Carter wants incredible, he's going to get it, Daphne replies. The contract is signed by both Carter and Daphne. Daphne gave Carter the scarf as a keepsake, and Carter describes her presence as intoxicating. Hope trots in to see what occurred after Daphne leaves. Daphne informs Steffi of her success while Carter and Hope celebrate their triumph. Hope Logan had always taken great satisfaction in her ability to look past people's appearances. She had learned from working in the high-stakes fashion industry at Forrester Creations that not everyone was as sincere as they seemed. Hope's intuition alerted her that something was wrong when Daphne Rose entered the argument with her brilliant smile, endearing manner, and seemingly perfect attitude. Since everyone seemed to love Daphne, she had initially dismissed it as psychosis. However, over time, hints started to support her suspicions, and Hope became determined to learn the truth about the mysterious newcomer. It began rather casually. Daphne was hired as a marketing consultant by Forrester Creations to lead a campaign for a new fragrance line. Her reputation as someone who could take any product and make it a worldwide sensation preceded her flawless credentials. She had swiftly gained the favor of the Forrester family, dazzling Ridge with her keen financial sense and winning Eric over with her understanding of the history of design. There were few who could say that Steffi was warming to Daphne's presence. However, Hope was really alarmed by Daphne's connections with Carter Walton. One of Hope's closest confidants was Carter, a man who had experienced his share of heartache and adversity. Hope had grown to appreciate his consistent presence in her life, and they both had a profound grasp of what it meant to deal with both personal and professional challenges. Consequently, Hope felt compelled to take precautions when she observed Daphne's growing attention to Carter. Daphne's attention to Carter initially appeared innocuous: congratulations on his job, cordial discussions in the office, and shared giggles during meetings. But with time, she started acting more purposefully. She would spend more time in his office than was required, make up reasons to ask him for his opinion on unimportant topics, and, most concerning of all, give him glances that were much too amorous to be professional. Hope could clearly see Daphne's motives, but Carter, ever the gentleman, appeared to be unaware of them. The pivotal moment occurred during a business dinner where Daphne's charisma was evident. She was well dressed when she arrived, and she chatted with the guests with confidence. Not wanting to come out as overly involved, Hope had made an effort to keep her distance, but when she witnessed Daphne and Carter having what appeared to be a very private chat, her resolve broke down. With her laughter echoing, Daphne leaned closer and made a calculated, transparent move by touching Carter's arm. Hope was unable to ignore the knot in her gut. Hope watched Daphne closely throughout the evening, taking note of every nuanced move. She observed as Daphne moved around the room, carefully crafting her interactions to make an impression on everyone she came into contact with. What really annoyed Hope, though, was her attention to Carter. She kept thinking that Daphne wasn't really interested in him. Her charm and her comments were overly polished and well-practiced. It seemed as though Carter was the object of Daphne's game. Hope made the decision to speak with Carter about her worries the next day. During a quiet period in the office, she spoke to him in a forceful yet gentle tone. "Carter, may we have a little conversation?" As she shut the door behind her, she inquired. "Obviously," Carter said, raising his head from his desk. "What are you thinking about?" Hope paused, uncertain of how to bring up the topic without coming across as accusing. "It's about Daphne," she finally stated. "It seems to me that she isn't being totally sincere." Carter scowled, obviously surprised. "What are you saying?" Hope clarified, "I mean, the way she's been acting around you. She's so endearing, yet it seems planned." "I believe she has a plan." With a doubtful expression on his face, Carter reclined in his chair. "I hope you're not overanalyzing this. Daphne is merely being amiable. She tries to leave a positive impression and is competent at her job." Hope's voice was colored with annoyance as she answered, "I know. However, there is a distinction between being amiable and manipulative. Carter, I don't trust her. I've observed how she speaks to you and how she looks at you. It goes beyond professionalism." Carter sighed, obviously torn. "Hope, I understand your worry, but I believe you may be exaggerating the situation. I don't believe Daphne has any hidden agendas based on anything she's done." Unsure of how to express her discomfort without coming across as suspicious, Hope chewed her lip. "Please, just be careful. At last," she said. "I don't want you to suffer harm." Carter nodded, but it was obvious he wasn't quite persuaded. "I'll remember that." Hope's concerns persisted even after Carter's contemptuous retort. She started observing Daphne more intently in an attempt to find any indication that might support her suspicions. She quickly discovered other warning signs. Daphne was almost too convenient to be a coincidence, appearing everywhere Carter went. She would conveniently volunteer for projects he was directing, accidentally run into him in the halls, and always appeared to know exactly what to say to keep him interested. Hope was suspicious of more than simply Daphne's treatment of Carter, though. There were further subliminal clues that Daphne might be concealing something. She was reticent about her private life and skillfully sidestepped inquiries. On paper, her past appeared perfect, but it felt too perfect to be completely real. Subsequently, there were suspicions and whispers that Daphne had previously used her charm to advance in her job. Hope couldn't ignore the mounting body of evidence, but she also didn't want to draw hasty conclusions. When Daphne's influence was evident at a team meeting, Hope's suspicions were intense. When she made a pitch for the new fragrance campaign, everyone praised her ideas. Even the notoriously difficult-to-please Ridge appeared to be impressed by her vision. However, Hope couldn't get rid of the uneasy sensation she had as she listened to Daphne talk. The commercial reminded her uncannily of one she had seen years before when she was just starting out in the fashion world. Even though it was a minor detail, it raised red flags. Hope made the decision to conduct further research following the conference. She devoted hours to investigating Daphne's prior endeavors in an attempt to find any proof for her hypothesis. Her suspicions were only strengthened by what she discovered. It was unclear whether Daphne had really earned her great reputation because several of her efforts resembled the work of other marketing experts. Even if there was no hard evidence of wrongdoing, it was sufficient to increase Hope's resolve to find the truth. Hope's increasing uneasiness was not ignored. Ever the encouraging husband, Liam made an effort to comfort her. He said, "Perhaps you're just trying to protect Carter. It's normal to want to protect him because you two have been through a lot together." "I understand," Hope said. "However, this feels different. Something about Daphne doesn't seem right. I know I'm not dreaming, yet I can't explain it. Hope's resolve only got stronger as the days passed. She started to pay more attention to Daphne, observing her every gesture and documenting every conversation. She was desperate to shield Carter from whatever game Daphne was playing, even though she knew her suspicions might not be strong enough to persuade others. Because Daphne Rose was an expert at manipulation, and if there was one thing Hope Logan was certain of, it was that appearances might be deceiving. Carter Walton was prepared to make the next significant life decision, to propose to the lady he believed to be his soulmate in a sincere and private way. This proposal was supposed to be a new beginning, a statement of hope, and a promise of eternity after everything he had gone through in love. The ideal location, the romantic atmosphere, and the moment he would reveal his heart were all painstakingly prepared by him. Carter was unaware that Daphne Rose, the charming new employee at Forrester Creations, had a plan of her own that would destroy his hopes and ruin his future. Daphne's obsession with Carter was anything but subtle, but her motivations had always been unclear. His unquestionable charm and strong moral compass were admirable to her, but her adoration quickly turned into infatuation. Carter was more than simply a friend or co-worker to Daphne, she wanted to claim him as her own. And she was more than happy to obstruct his happiness if that meant doing so. Daphne executed her sabotage with unsettling accuracy on the day of Carter's proposal. Just hours before Carter's scheduled supper with his fiancée, she purposefully ran into him at work, making subtle but incisive remarks that sowed doubt in his mind. "Carter, are you certain she's prepared for this level of commitment?" she smiled innocently as she asked. People may harbor doubts that they keep to themselves until it's too late. Her remarks were veiled in worry, but the meaning was obvious. Carter's relationship might not be as stable as he thought. "I'd hate for you to rush into something and get hurt again." Daphne went one step farther later that night. Carter was forced to postpone his dinner plans after she staged a work emergency by sending him a string of urgent texts. The romantic atmosphere he had so painstakingly created was in ruins by the time he reached the restaurant. His girlfriend, who was offended and perplexed by the wait, accused him of being preoccupied and not wanting to put their relationship first. Carter didn't even get a chance to kneel before his well-practiced plan collapsed. Daphne observed from the sidelines, a facade of worry concealing her joy. Daphne knew she had been successful in sowing uncertainty and disarray, making the path to Carter's happily ever after a little less certain and far more susceptible to her influence, while he attempted to put the wrecked evening back together.